We finally have enough clues to try and put together some of the various leads that have been proposed. So we are going to go ahead and do that now. We'll start in this corner. Why not? We'll see how that works out.
You wanted to talk about the supply orders?
Indeed. It's about the gibberish along the bottom. Notice how the writing is in a different hand.
I noticed that. Also, the orders are all written by different people, but the random words are the same handwriting.
We're looking at a cipher. Someone sharing encoded notes.
Sounds like we have a cipher to break. I'll keep hitting dead drops.
Any code is easier to break with more samples. You can work on it like any other research project.
Oh my goodness. Okay, looks like that does actually finally complete the archiving here. But if we go into our quest journal, okay, we need to consult with Kasim and Dane here. We'll talk to Kasim next, I guess.
Well, Codebreakers, how are we feeling?
Satisfied. We have enjoyed reasonable success.
That's Lane's way of saying they crushed it.
Notes being passed between a brother and sister, quite candid, and dissatisfied. In particular with their boss, who they refer to as the Grumple.
The Grumple?
A Renland myth, where ill-behaved children would be gathered up in a sack and tossed into the river to drown at the end of the year.
Bye.
The Grumple, yes. Renland fables prominently featured drowning as a punishment for children. The myth has fallen out of favor in recent decades, though.
Bummer.
Ren society is less forgiving of flights of fancy.
The Grumple. Really?
Really.
Moving swiftly on. What else did the drop say?
Remember that ominous note about tracking individually in specific teams?
From the context provided by our hauler, we now know a significant number of Hearthsiders survived the surge.
Where are they?
But only just surviving. They relied on the runner-hauler teams. But supplies consistently went missing. There is also a sense that the Enclave was getting increasingly dangerous for the scouts.
The floods, of course.
With supplies running thin, the supply teams were falling under suspicion of stealing.
This pair responded with the entirely reasonable, if exhausting, plan of overperforming. They collected a cache of rare items they were planning to turn in when they felt its size and value would erase any suspicion.
Do we know if they turned it in?
No, but we know what it was. Or is.
And that's where I come in.
Wow, these are some really stupid people. Let's get this straight. Let me make sure I'm following along here, okay? Go to my perch. So, we're inside this magic bubble, big cataclysm, people separated on the outside of the bubble, people stuck inside the bubble. The people inside the bubble were relying on some kind of supply team in order to get their supplies, right? And the supplies were getting thin, and they accused the supply runners of stealing supplies. Then, thought I heard really big wings. Then, two of these supply runners thought they could fix this by stockpiling up supplies in secret to prove that it wasn't them. No, that doesn't work. Now, you might be saying to me, Vadd, you're wearing new armor? Yes, we did one of the random surprise 0.5 episodes. This is episode 8. Last episode was episode 7. And one of the things we did was we grinded out new materials. So you can actually see, I don't think I showed my stats here in the episodes before, but we actually weigh almost, just with these two armor pieces, the boots and the mask, we have the same amount of health. We have less resistance, less armor, but a lot less weight. And I think that's translating to more stamina. And we were also able to upgrade our two-hander. You can see the damage there to 165 and upgrade our bow. And we sold our sword and shield, as we don't use it very often. We could put on more armor, but I feel like the stamina trade-off right now is more valuable. All right, let's talk to... and on stream, we also grinded out the just repeat fights to get 3 level 3 in each of our abilities as well. You're welcome to check that episode out. It is in the playlist, but it was mostly just a very casual live stream, hunting down the weaves and trying to see if we could get a little better armor set.
Any luck with the materials we gathered from Lucia's workshops?
Yes. I'll let Sev fill you in.
We started with the book, which was painfully dry and highly theoretical.
Unsurprising. The Enclave was notoriously tight-lipped about the construction of the arcs.
The book was still useful, as it contained a number of craft-specific terms, shorthands and annotations, all critical. Referencing the book clarified the notes.
Without it, they bordered on deranged rant, especially at the end.
Sort of a window into her thinking.
We suspect Lucia spent a long time in isolation while working on these.
She covered many topics, but the most prominent was her work into the flood.
I'm sure her work was interesting. But eyes on the prize, gentlemen. What did we learn about the floods? Does she have an answer for us?
Partially. This is the design.
Her research led her to one conclusion: to stop the floods. She needed to disrupt a barrier of some sort. The frustrating thing is that she never explains what barrier or where it could be found.
She assumed, unfortunately, that anyone else reading it would know what she was talking about.
Her design is detailed and specific. The device it would create inverts the flow of magic and enchanted objects, disrupting them for a time.
We think the devices we found on the arcs were prototypes, small experiments to determine efficacy and duration.
So what's the catch? If the floods are still happening, clearly she didn't build one.
Lucia's thimble, as she calls it, requires some highly specialized components. It has to withstand considerable magical flow, far more than what's produced by an arc.
It's like how mass scales exponentially. Just because you can build a scale model of an aqueduct doesn't mean the real thing can support its own weight.
If, and it is a very big if, we could find those components, we could construct Lucia's thimble. We have the expertise.
We'll find them. It's just a matter of time.
I only hope we have enough.
The other thing we'll need is a source of magical flame. Solar's mantle won't be enough by itself.
I can handle that part easily. Okay, so we have clear next steps. Just one more thing. What happened to Lucia?
The flood. Our best guess, at any rate.
Okay, so what? So now. So I just don't know. Quest journal. Search for the large cache. Visit the unknown keys watch. Let's go try and find this first. And do we need to craft something? A custom design something. We're missing a flame resonance and something called rare parts. A flame resonance? Really now? And so we go out. We boldly go out to where no one's been before. I mean, people have, but it's been very long. Got where they said we need to go. Lower D. Okay. Lower D. It is clear, which is awesome, and there's an arc of stricken earth, which we hope to bully. So we have 2 spawn points here. Let's start at the perch, and we'll run all the way down and to the right. We're really hoping that we can get ourselves that big old monster boy, take him down, as we specifically, there's a specific metal that seems to be best in slot for like literally everything. And that only comes from this guy or the flame boy, from what I can tell. I want to point out again how long we've been running without needing any kind of stamina. Give me a second here. Going for it. We're going for it. There we go. Knock, knock. Well, what do we have here? Beyond a little bit of fire. Secrets? Reveal yourself. Reveal yourself. Huh? Can that get rid of their shields? These guys are like way too tough. Dude. Want to point out that with our decreased armor, we're still doing pretty okay here. And our stamina is feeling really good. Alright, the Trapper's Crown, new armor set, very cool.
Wow.
Encrypted letter.
Everything all right?
Yeah. There's just so much. Oh. And a letter. Encoded like the others.
Can't wait to work it out.
Oh boy. I don't feel like their supplies are particularly impressive, all things considered. Like, this is a well-hidden location, but this was not going to save their people. You know, a handful of cloth and... What's more interesting is their ability to defend this place with those... Can we get to that tree? Well, we should do that. Let's go clobber this guy. I want you to pay close attention, not to anything else other than our stamina. That is the... Dude. That's the biggest difference here. Alright. Stamina's topped off. Going up. What do you think? He goes for a shake? Oh, he goes right into the big old blast. Inconceivable, dude. Don't do that. Alright. We're not going to cling. Almost there. Did he catch us? Dude. Look at that damage. It's intense. Well, look at our stamina bar. Health topped back up. Fine, we'll cling this time. I don't like to. Okay. 1, 2. He caught us again. Look at our stamina. Look at our stamina. I mean, that is significant. To have that extra time to hold on. Look at that. He switched hands so he could try and grab us again. Stamina bar is still there. I mean, how long have we been clinging? That's fine. Next time we've got him. That's it. That's the fight. It might not seem all that crazy until you recognize just how... Oh no, that's gonna get us. Until you realize just how much of the fight we've been able to spend not running around, not whacking, but literally just climbing. He's gonna go for the grab here. Don't do it. Don't do it. No, 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 no. Surprise, surprise. And I think that extra stamina is from the lack of armor. Like the lack of extra weight or whatnot. Alright, there's a certain... one medal we're hoping for. Might have gotten one right here. There it is. The Sovereign right here. This one's Sovereign Atrium. That is the one thing that seems to be best in slot for every armor set. And we get between 0 and 2 every time we take this guy down. Okay, so we have gone ahead and successfully cleared out the big boy. We've found the hidden supply whatever. We go back and talk to Cassim, and hopefully the old boy has got, or whoever the dude was, he's got some ideas on how we can be successful. We're going to punch through this guy's dialogue. Maybe. We'll see what he says.
Thinking about how...
All right. He's kind of a nervous Nancy. Does a lot of worrying. Does a lot of things might go really bad or worse.
They were collecting supplies for other survivors. We know someone is out there. The supplies never made it to them. That and the tear stains.
Is that what that was? Yes, well, there's a lot to cover. We have the cache itself and our scrounging siblings.
Talk to me about the supplies.
They did astonishing work. If I weren't sure they're both gone, I'd hire them.
Indeed, a robust collection, including several enchanted objects we barely recognize.
They had a keen eye for things that could decay and took care to preserve them.
You two sound giddy.
If there's one thing Lane and I are passionate about, it's preservation of rare objects.
What did the final note say?
Yes, right. It was a farewell. One sibling disappeared. The runner.
I thought the runner of the pair was the one we found.
So did we. But this last message was a farewell to his sister. Apparently the Grumpole...
Really?
I know. But apparently their boss had been ordered to stop wasting resources on the search.
And so our hauler left this farewell, hoping his sister might find it on the off chance she was alive.
He was going to remove all their other messages so their plan wouldn't be found out.
We postulate he was on his way to do that when...
When the flood caught him.
These people, however many are left, they've really been through it.
They might really need our help.
They're still organized and have a command structure, but it sounds dysfunctional. Good news. We compared notes with Dam. We found parts that will let us complete Lucia's thimble from those schematics you decoded.
It has been a busy time. Solar will handle the assembly, of course.
I suppose the only other thing to say is, good job, Bryn.
Hey, thanks.
Indeed. We have made progress in unraveling the shape of what the post-surge society looks like in the Enclave. Further, these documents are invaluable to the historical record.
That is special.
Maybe you put a couple souls to rest. Not to be sentimental.
It might not be profitable, but that is special. All right. Couple of people want to talk to us. Oh my goodness. Let's get yapping. I like this guy. He never does anything except expresses his fears and concerns and worries. What's up, Sebastian?
The half-siders are scavenging their own city. Things must be dire.
I'm worried about them after that.
You've a kind heart.
Oh, man. Oh, things are bad. Literally the first sentence every time. So they still want us to craft this thimble. We are just missing a flame resonance. Oh, my goodness. This might be the way forward. The Trapper's Crown. Weight reduction. So we are wearing this head armor for max magic. And you can see here, it's pretty juicy. It only weighs 14, but it offers a solid 17 across the board. And we can actually reforge it with this here to make it weigh 1 less and give it a further 6 boost armor. I don't want to get rid of this one, but we need like a significant amount of sovereign yttrium here. Okay. But I mean, weight reduction. I mean, this I like. This we can get behind, right? I mean, how close could we get to our current thing with this this new item? I mean, I'm a huge fan of this. Almost there. Just looking what we actually have on hand. So if we put the glass tail fur, so we could go. We're at 16, 19, and 5. That gets us to 17, 22, 20, and 4. This is what I was saying earlier. Maybe we need 2 sets of armor. Look, we can get 19 cold resist and 11 less fire, or 19 heat and 11 less cold. We're going to craft this as is.
Not as protective, but great against the elements.
And then I want to highlight here, if we go over to... she wants to talk. What's up? For comparison here, this is our Opportunist masks. 17 armor, 17 armor. 14 weight, 4. It weighs 4, okay? And resistances are better. Just like that, better armor set. I like this Opportunist mask. But look at that. It's weaker. And they're both level 1. We haven't even, like, upgraded them at all. So we are going to... Man, that is so exciting. Like, I do just love finding, like, a slightly better piece of gear. And then being able to take advantage of that. I want this material back that I used. We can. And again, we can upgrade this more. I mean, we can bump this up quite a bit. We're going to leave it at level 1 for now. But that is exciting to me. That's something that I like. When we find something just a little bit better, that we also kind of have the resources to craft. In addition, we can upgrade our stations. Very expensive though, at $250. So even if we salvage like all of our basic stuff, we could do 1. And what if we did all of our green stuff as well? That would kind of hurt. Ugh. Oh. Let's do the upgrade first. We'll do this one first to expand our carry capacity. Okay, it goes up another level. That is intense. We will go ahead and salvage something we seem to have a lot of. We have 49 of these. That'll let us get 1 more station upgraded. We will go with the archive here. So now we can carry an additional frost and fire resist vial, which is very nice. I'd almost like a 3rd vial of armor boost, right? Or like damage reduction instead of the flat whatever. Okay, we need at least 50 supplies here. Oh, but again, do we have a lot of this one? Okay. We'll upgrade the forge. And they all have another level. Oh my goodness. Okay. I was not expecting that. What I really want to upgrade though, even though like it would be a lot of farming runs, would be our 2-hander. But we need that Sovereign Etrium, but it's only a bump of 10. The other thing we could try and do is reforge it, right? With some higher level gear. We don't have that much of it. And again, it would be a bump of 2 more damage, 4 more damage, 5 more damage. It's just not a lot. But maybe we should be... we can at least do 1 upgrade here. We're going to wait. Because we don't have a full set of gear I really like crafted. Right now, as far as stats go, I'm pretty happy with our weight at 40. And our resistances and armor how they are. Maybe we're going to encounter an enemy that has me change my mind. But for now, I actually think we're in a really good place here as we go into the unknown. I was also going to point out we are just minutes away from the 15-hour mark, just to put some perspective on like how much time we've been out and about. Oh wait, hold on. We need a flame core. We'll try and bust this boy up quick. It puts some perspective on just how long we've been out and about and what we've explored and discovered so far. And I don't feel like we've spent like an absurd amount of time wandering, right? I don't feel like we are like out of control and can't stay on target. I feel like we've, for the most part, done a pretty good job of focusing on our, main core objectives. There you are. And beating them down. Like, we've stayed pretty on track, all things considered. That being said, I looked at the how long to beat scores, and they were like 10 hours. I was like, nope. Don't believe you. Nobody believes that. Stop that. was kind of hoping he would land in the near future. Dude. He went up the hill. We'll run back up the hill. It's fine. But I have found that for myself, whatever the how long to beat score is, if I times it by 3 or 4, it's usually how long it takes me. And I do not 100% things. I'm just not super fast, right? I'm sure there's other people that are like skipping dialogue, completely ignoring everything that isn't on their 100% playthrough guide path, right? Like they're following the script of some kind. Okay, don't do it, guy. Just come back and fight me. Sir? We're in combat here. Never thrown a frost mine at him. Does it stick? Oh, it does. Better and for worse. Coming down, or were you fighting, or what, sir? Thank you. 2, 3, or number 1. One, 2, 3, or number 2. Gonna break one wing so we don't get barrel rolled. 4 hits, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Come on, 10. Oops. Go again. 11, 12, 13. There it is. Sir, please do your thing. Harvesting. How far away is homie gonna fly? All the way. Did we get the fire strand or not? It said we needed a fire strand for that item, but I did not see a notification saying fire strand. So I know it said that once you've maxed out the ability, you won't be able to get strands from them anymore. But I was working under the assumption that since we had... Since we had an item that required it, we'd be able to get one. Did we just fall here when we run out, or did we slow down? Okay, we can still go. We'll quick loot whatever the old boy blew up. Go back to camp, see if we can craft the whatever. Man, did we even take any damage? Wow. I mean, that was a crazy clean fight. We'll grab this chest since we're here, then we'll go there. But I do not remember... Oh, a couple more things. Here we go. I don't remember this thing being here. I don't love having this home teleport be on the same hotbar as my health bar. My resist cold, resist fire bar. And by the way, if the devs are watching or anyone's looking for my idea, here's my idea for the third elemental type. Lightning. Okay. Lightning. Yeah, we don't have a flame resonance still. Okay. There must be another fire creature we can harvest. That's how it goes. Into the unknown.
Underground.
Barrier almost looks like the veil.
It must be the one Lucia wrote about in her notes.
And the panel looks like our scry. Anyone know what it is?
No idea.
similar design to a scry, but it looks like it's a permanent installation. Like it interfaces with the room. Could this be the harness?
Must be. It seems like Asylum involved sealing away whatever's beyond this barrier.
With this discovery and everything else you found, I should be able to piece together what Asylum actually was.
We touch it? Oh, it's a solid wall. I guess we leave? Are you kidding me? Okay. All right, let's see what the news is, everyone.
All right. Let's go over everything we know so far.
We know that, for a time after the surge, civilians continued to live in Tenebron until they were forced to evacuate the city. We're still not sure the cause.
Wherever the Hearthsiders went, they're still actively sending scouting groups to scavenge for supplies. From the uniform, the creeper who was watching Bryn sleep belongs to one of these groups.
We also know that a defensive procedure codenamed Asylum sealed access to the Enclave underground. This was done using a barrier almost exactly like the Veil.
Lucia, an ex-high enchantress, opposed Asylum and began working on ways to sabotage it.
Her research forecasted that the barrier would cause the Enclave to flood with miasma. The very same flood that seems to have killed Lucia before she was able to finish her thimble.
But we have her design. It could disrupt Asylum's barrier.
So Lucia's thimble is the key to our survival.
It's less a key and more like a magical battering ram.
Whatever works.
What is it, Lane?
It's just... I've pored over all the documents we've compiled, and a concrete link between the evacuation plan and the underground is nowhere to be found. I can't shake the feeling we're missing something.
The Enclave destroyed a lot of information from their documents. Could that be why you can't find a link between Asylum and the evacuation?
I considered that. The Enclave may have hidden their location from Lucia.
Being a weaver isn't about being certain all the time. It's about taking calculated risks to carve a path forward. And regardless of the Hearthsider's location, disrupting the barrier is the only option to stop the flood.
You're right. I just hope that if we did miss something, it doesn't come back to bite us.
Even if it does, we will handle it.
That settles it. Bryn, it's time to use the thimble.
Okay, we have a flame resonance all of a sudden. Perfect. It just ended the conversation and gave us one. I gotta tell you, the thimble is not the most intimidating. Oh, look, it levitates here. Over the forge? Darn. With the gravity magic. Interesting in the heat. Okay. Crafting one thimble.
Thank you for your help with that, Bryn. You've a deft hand for flame magic. Also, Lucia knew what she was doing.
Must be her experience.
Based on
If it
agreed.
Ah, yes, the thimble. Custom designed in somewhat volatile enchanted device. Okay. We will use the thimble. I gotta tell you, just... You're gonna name a magical artifact the thimble? Come on. Really? The thimble. You don't know what a thimble is. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is some mythical
That
object
console
that I
that looks
just
like our scry
misunderstand.
should be the controls for the barrier. The thimble was built to interface with it.
But
time to disrupt Asylum.
like last time I saw thimble, someone was sewing by hand, trying not to like punch themselves or whatever. Like it's just kind of a funny name for this legendary artifact that's going to get us through this moment. Because this is not only our first time weaving the weave as one does. Oh man, we got crazy eyes. Whoa! I guess if it doesn't work, hit it harder. Great. This is how we break this. Mercy. It's too much power. It's gonna blow. This dude's like, what are you doing, you psycho? The monsters come out. Help! So glad we got rid of all that heavy armor. Close the gate. Help! Hero time. Bum ba da. He's like, shh, be quiet. He is. Shh. Okay. Why didn't you close the door behind you? This man was born in a barn. They just march on for like the next 10 hours. We're just here hanging out.
Great timing. I owe you one.
You need to come with me.
Why?
All of you.
Come on, they have to know what we've been working on. They really haven't been like... They've been waiting all this time to like make themselves known. Seclusion and safekeeping at the hold. Dude.
We mustn't cause a panic.
Sure. It's not like we had a dire supplies shortage on our hands before this happened.
What do I tell the High Enchanter? The Guild will want...
Enough. We won't discuss this further. Not in front of our guests.
He's been stealing supplies.
Identify yourselves.
No, you.
Warrior Harpenay, or Silverbeak, as I'm known among Weaver circles. This is my band, and beside me is our acting point.
Bryn. And you are?
Khan Stuneld, Eye of the Enclave. My colleagues are the Spindle and the Axle, representatives of the Enchanting and Crafting Guilds. Who sent you?
Sent us?
Taza? Renland? Udea? The Enclave is the envy of the Maida for its magical prowess. Clearly one of those nations has finally grown a spine and decided to take it for themselves in our moment of weakness.
Moment.
No one sent us. We came here by accident.
What kind of fool do you take me for?
The
You
villainous
expect me
kind.
to believe that you bypassed our veil, infiltrated our loom gates, and breached asylum without a national power backing you.
When you put it that way.
Dude, we just walked in.
This is a misunderstanding. We're Weavers, like you. There was a brief opportunity to enter the Enclave for the first time in decades, and we took it. Everything we've done since we arrived has been to uncover what happened here after the Surge. And to find you.
If that is true, have you really no inkling of the trouble you've caused?
No.
Your reckless conduct has unleashed an enemy that nearly destroyed us 27 years ago.
The Surgeborn. They first appeared a little over a decade after the Veil went up.
Where did they come from?
No one knows. But they arrived in the Underworks before making their way to the surface.
Where they left a trail of destruction in their wake and wreaked havoc on the Enclave.
Causing casualties to rise.
And so I called for a retreat here, saving countless lives. We sealed the Surgeborn in the Underworks for good. Until now.
We've been here a little while now. Don't you think all of this could have been avoided if you'd properly said hello?
Boom.
She's right.
This is hardly our fault.
Look, Surgeborn or not, we had no choice but to remove the barrier. Though I suppose we owe you thanks for warning us about the floods.
Who warned you?
You did.
Did we? I'll deal with you later.
While we can agree Arakin breached no-contact protocol, it has proven to be the right decision. The floods were growing worse, and now they have stopped. Even if fixing them has introduced a new problem.
One my band would be more than happy to help you solve.
Ha! Work together.
Sorry to interrupt, but you mentioned your last name earlier. Any relation to Shireen Harpinay?
She was my mother. You know who she is?
Of course! I mean, before my time, obviously. But she's still renowned in the Enchanting Guild. Her work is remarkable. There's a statue of her in Denevron, you know?
Oh. I can't believe she didn't mention that.
There is so much I'd love to ask you, but for now, Aurea comes from a long bloodline of outstanding and renowned weavers. Shouldn't that buy her band some grace?
All right. Your presence in the outskirts will be tolerated. Nothing more.
What about the Surgeborn?
What about them?
Shouldn't we work together to deal with them?
We could use the help.
The Surgeborn are a problem for anyone in the outskirts, not us. Cassidon's Hold is a fortress.
The scouts do head into the outskirts to scavenge for supplies.
We'll take our own precautions. Speaking of, we have pressing matters to attend to.
But...
Enough! My word is final.
Bryn, the one that led us here is clearly the one that warned us. Try to talk to him before we leave. Maybe he's willing to work with us.
Will do.
I made a comment about Eternal Strands. I'm gonna read. Online, right? Eternal Strands is fun. It also feels like a safe bet for publishing and incorporates many mechanics and systems that have already proven successful in other established games. I hope Eternal Strands does well enough to give the developers the confidence and runway to take more risks in future projects. I really believe that. I think it's a fun game, but it's also just so very safe. Up to this point, the story has been just a little, I don't want to say blah, because that's not accurate, but it's been very, I kind of just don't care. Even though the characters are pretty good, right? Even though the interactions have been pretty fulfilling, even though kind of lots of things, it's just kind of been a little bit of, all right, we're in a secret place. Go explore. Go explore. Go explore. Mystery, 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 mystery. Go explore. More mystery. Go explore. More mystery. Never an answer. We never really know what we're going out there for, right? But we finally have a little bit more of a direction, clue of a feeling, and thought we can maybe go through that. Oop. Now I kind of like this because there's maybe a villain of the story. There's maybe a hero of the story. There's maybe a civilization fighting for survival. There's finally something more than just we're in a place no one's been for 50 years. The world is kind of falling apart. Ha ha ha, right? All of a sudden we have something a little more compelling that is at play here, right? All of a sudden we save them from flooding. I kind of lost track of the whole flooding problem. And not only that, but we unleashed a new problem because they wouldn't work with us because they're secretive, because they're afraid, because of lots of things. I think this is maybe what the story was lacking was conflict. There was no conflict. There was no hero's journey. There was no obstacle. It was just go out and explore, see what you can find. And I think that is a weakness of Eternal Strands. I think the narrative, not the voice actors, not the dialogue, not the script, but I mean the overarching plot, the narrative that moves things forward, I think it might be the weakest element. But now that we've met this second group, I'm kind of excited to see if this is the solution, right? If this is what it was building towards, and how this plays out is really going to influence the spindle, the axle, how things, operate moving forward.
This can't be right.
The axle will not talk to us. Okay, how about the spindle? No, there's nothing for her to say either. Yeah, get like a little better of a, there we go. Huh. Well, what about the eye? No. Although dude is kind of surly, huh? But maybe he has a good reason to be. All right, we'll talk to this guy then.
Hey, Arakim, was it?
Oh, just call me Arik.
Well, Arik, I never got a chance to thank you. You know, for grabbing me before I fell to my death.
I think you had it. Besides, I couldn't let you plummet into a chasm.
Thank you.
The Eye is pretty peeved with me, but hey, that's just a bonus.
You know, the Eye wasn't very angry that the Surgeborn were released. Isn't that kind of odd?
So you're not upset that I breached Asylum, like your colleagues?
I've been pushing to do something about the Surgeborn for years now. Setting them free wasn't great, but sealing them in the underworks indefinitely was never a good solution. Frankly, I think Khan Stanild is just annoyed you undid his one claim to fame. I guarantee he has no plans to do anything about the Surgeborn now that they're free.
You don't think he sees them as a threat?
He's got his head in the sand about a lot of things.
You seem awfully trusting of us, considering the terrible first impression we've made.
I was spying on you the first time we met, so let's call it even.
Sure. Maybe you know everything already then, but have you got any questions for me?
Just one. Why are you here?
It's time for the veil separating the wider world from the city here, the people of the Enclave, to have an opportunity to meet again.
Decades of war across the Maida followed after the Surge. Magic and Weavers were blamed for all of it. Without the Enclave as a stabilizing force, it's as if the world outside has splintered into factions, divided by chaos and fear. Not to mention the lands surrounding the Veil are completely shrouded in tangles. I'm here to bring down the Veil, and play a small part in restoring the Maida Basin to what it was before the Surge.
Wow, that's a big picture vision if I ever heard one. If that's truly what you want, then dealing with the Surgeborn is the first step. Ever since the Veil went up, our people have been in crisis. They've spent so long in it, they're afraid to do what it takes to get out. It doesn't help that some have benefited off that same crisis.
Who?
Who always benefits? The very top. Our leaders are too preoccupied with their own concerns to form a unified front against the Surgeborn.
Such as?
The Spindle is obsessed with getting the Arcs functional again. She believes that will help us regain control. And the Axle is too stressed about our supply shortage right now. But if their concerns were handled, they could pressure the Eye to finally address the Surgeborn.
Okay.
That sounds like an opportunity. And are you a representative yourself? Do you have sway?
Representative, yes. Sway? No. I represent the Scouts, meaning I'm at the meetings, but I don't have the title to back me up. The Scouts were once points like you, but our role has changed since the Veil went up. We were effectively drafted into scavenging for food and supplies. It made sense following the Surge, but it's been years. Recently, we've even been separated from Cassidon's hold and the remaining civilians.
Why?
Anyway, it's the guild leaders who will need to pressure Khan Stanild into dealing with the Surgeborn, which is what needs to happen before we can even think about tackling the Veil.
Sounds like I've got some palms to grease.
Yuck. But yes, I'll come by your camp later. We'll be able to speak more freely there.
Oh, that's nice. That's an interesting pair.
What is that about?
The Eye isn't one for idle chit-chat. That's worth watching.
Talk to you back at our camp.
You got it.
Seth, you all right?
No. I mean, yes. I'm fine.
Liar.
You sure?
Bryn, the rest of us are heading out. See you back at camp.
I got to go.
I wish that narrative had been told more aggressively, right? The narrative of The world's been ravaged by war. And I know. I understand it was something that was mentioned, you know, early on with like the opening cutscene, but like bring it up again. Remind us that the world's been ravaged by war and that the Veil needs to come down, and that's part of why we were exploring its edge, right? Remind us of that. I forgot all about it. I genuinely just exploring, like, are we treasure hunters, you know? And another thing, this dude is bad.
So,
Me?
the one causing trouble.
Had you allowed Arakim to reach out to us sooner, this could have been avoided.
Arakim has a proven record of poor judgment. I will not be lectured by the... But I'm being impolite.
Because you're rude.
Let us start afresh, shall we?
Nah.
Please, share what you hope to accomplish by loitering around the hold.
The surge board must be dealt with.
The things I saw pouring out at the underworks are a real problem. It's clear they've been strangling the Enclave all this time.
The elusive Surgeborn. They are, I will tell you, not so bestial as they seem.
Oh?
There is a cunning in what passes for their eyes. They are dangerous, though perhaps not quite as dangerous as everyone believes.
Meaning?
Meaning you should proceed with caution, and that your confidence in this matter is misplaced.
Like it or not, I'm here to help.
The Enclave stands on a blade's edge. Stretch our resources too thin on risky ventures, and we face collapse. Certain elements of our population call for action, for bold purpose. And I ask you, what purpose is bolder than survival?
Well...
Purely rhetorical. We must survive, and we must make considered, careful moves if we are to do so. There is no sacrifice too great towards that goal. You, at least, understand the precarity of our situation.
I do, but...
Thank you for your time.
But...
You may go.
Sometimes people get so caught up in surviving that they stop living.
Let's talk in your camp.
And that is genuinely a real problem. I think the reason the scouts were separated from the general population is so they can blame the scouts for the lack of supplies in some way. And I think these two need to grow a spine and stand up to the eye. The time is now for a new chapter in world history and the life of everyone here today.